Yeah, I was looking at these YouTube videos on Lambrick or auction. And basically, it was a dealership that was around since the 19, I don't know when the hell it was, the 40s or something, and went out of business in the 90s. And they're auctioning off these cars. And I was kind of wondering, what got me thinking maybe they're cheap is because the lady on the video said, well, you can get one of these cars and even, one of these old behemoth monsters and use it in a demolition derby. That's what she said. And I'm thinking to myself, you're going to take this car that's been sitting here that's got like no mileage on it and you're going to use it in the demolition derby? And, I'm thinking, I don't know what the hell she's talking about for price. So I was wondering. But I found out they're worth a lot of money. So I'm going to show something I think I got that may be worth a lot of money if I can find a weird-ass buyer for it, because this stuff is becoming almost like, when they used to invest in tulips in Europe a long, long time ago, and the tulips became worth more and more and more. These things are worth money, but they're not worth this kind of money. That's what I'm thinking. It's becoming a rich man's type of deal. But I'm going to point out one other thing for the future, because I think gasoline is going to be so damn expensive. There is one alternative fuel out there, and I'll show you what the hell it is that can be fantastic. And I found out there's a place nearby me that just opened up in September that I'm going to fill up this car and see if it works. Yeah, someday I can say that this car is going to be a super classic. It's a Jeep. It's a Suzuki. It's a right-hand drive. It's got a Japanese plate on it. It's registered in the state of Florida. It's all insured. And, like I said, it's right-hand drive. One thing that's wrong with it is the floor's got some rust on it, but I'm going to fix that, which is not too difficult. Actually, I'm going to do it in a novel way with the special type of automotive adhesive that's used for putting on quarter panels and heavy-duty pop rivets that are hammered together. And I'm going to clean it up very clean and put in little patches where that is. There's not too many. That's the only place I got to do. Of course, water got in there, but it's actually a rebuilt transmission from Amico, rebuilt transfer case. Just had the bearings put in it because as a precaution, it was starting to make a little noise. And the engine's it's over 200,000 miles. It runs like brand new. But hey, it's a classic, Oh, wow. So, according to the new classic prices out there, it should be worth at least $20,000, right? Right. But for the future, this is a little economical 1300 engine. But I like this thing, though, because it's a convertible and it goes everywhere. So when I finish up my top for this, and I know I didn't put it... Actually, this set is actually built very good. I want to take the grinder and grind this down at an angle up here. And so when the tarp goes over, it'll go up to here. And nail it all into that. And then use some trucker straps across the top, 2 of them, from one side to the other to even hold the tarp down that way. And then I'm going to start going to town on whatever little tiny bits of minor rust I have on here. And one time the hood slammed into the top up there to those things. And I'm going to wind up painting this with, I was going to go with acrylic enamel, but then I said, I'm going to go with urethane single stage. And it's just plain old black. But painting it in this area should be okay. But I'm going to tell you one type of fuel for the future that all cars will be able to use. It's going to be real easy conversion. You don't have to change nothing. Just add a gas tank. Because I already own one of these cars. So these classic cars are going to be around forever and be very cheap to run, even when electric is the norm. And the fuel I'm talking about is this is a 2003 Cavalier. I think this is the last year they made dual fuel Cavaliers. Takes natural gas. And you can see it plugs in here. I'm going to try. There's a place that opened up not super far away from here. I don't have to drive 300 miles to get fuel now. This holds 6 gallons equivalent, but it holds 6 gallons equivalent plus the standard tank. You can see it's CNG. You can convert any classic car. If you got a 55 Chevy, you want to run it on CNG, no problem, compressed natural gas. This one still has the standard fuel tank in it, so I always use the regular fuel. And so it takes 14 gallons of regular gasoline and plus 6 gallons of CNG. The problem's going to be is I ain't sure if it's going to run when I put the CNG in it, but I will find out. But this is the idea for the future for classic cars, because when they go to say we're going to more and more electric, I think gasoline's going to get more and more expensive. But you're going to see a hell of a lot more people still having natural gas for fuel in their homes and for their ovens and stuff like that. So you're probably going to see a lot more kits where they can actually use and fill up stations even at home. It takes longer, takes overnight, but if you have a classic car, and even though, say, Tesla Energy, Tesla, the motor company's coming out with the electric, you're going to see that this is not a hard conversion to do. Now, with this car, I ain't sure if I'm going to have to get a tow truck when I fill it up, because it'll be the first time I did it, because it automatically goes to CNG, and as soon as it runs out, it automatically goes to gas. There's no manual lever. I don't know exactly how this damn thing works, it's all electronic and shit. But this was a stock factory setup back in 2003. They made these all the way back to the 90s, and the people stopped buying them because the American public didn't buy it. It wasn't GM's fault. It was, people just didn't buy it, even though it was a $1,400 option, not much. So anyway, just want to point out some of these classic cars are getting ridiculously priced. They're becoming almost like the tulips they used to sell in, back in Europe or Netherlands, and they got the crazy prices. I think the classic car prices are going to collapse at one point in time. But the thing is, they're always going to have utility. And the way around it is not going to be the gasoline. To use the gasoline in these gas hogs and stuff from back in the 50s and 60s, use natural gas. It's an easy conversion, runs clean, and the engine will last double the life because of the cleanliness, and it still gets around the same mileage. And if it's tuned specifically for natural gas, it can even get better mileage and run clean. So that's your solution.